Welcome to A Matter of Pact, a Minions Warmachine Hordes podcast, celebrating strength through diversity. This is Gaston.
And this is Rickard, and we are your hosts for this podcast.
So welcome to everybody. We are on the other side of Swedish Thanksgiving. How was your turkey?
We don't actually do Thanksgiving.
What?
We don't have that holiday here.
Do you at least have Black Friday?
Yeah. And Cyber Monday and like the entire shebang.
So I've always thought that was pretty awesome that like Europe doesn't have any of the food, but they have all the shopping.
Yes. I mean,
Like-
we have been slowly importing American shopping holidays, like Halloween, for example, and now we got the Black Friday going on since a couple of years back. So, I mean, if it's geared to sell stuff, we get it here.
Yeah, so hopefully everyone was able to get some good gaming deals on Black Friday. I know we've had there's a bunch of Warmachine deals here. A lot of people are getting into Keyforge,
Yes.
that card game.
Yeah, I like the card game.
So I'm sure you get like what 4 decks for the price of 3.
No, I don't think we did any of those deals.
Oh, great shame on you. Great
Yeah.
shame.
I did look at a new TV, but when I actually made the decision to pick it up, it was sold out. So maybe next year.
Fair enough.
Yeah. So how was your
So
how was your turkey day? I heard that you had to move a little belligerent old lady.
oh yeah, no, I have definitely a family in town, so that's been cramping freedom time. But I'm the kind of lazy person that makes everyone come to me for Thanksgiving.
Hmm?
And the flip side is I cook them the turkey. And
Yeah.
we have these like injection needles that you can get in the US.
Hmm.
So I put 4 sticks of butter into our turkey, and damn,
Just injecting pure butter into your turkey.
literally, yeah.
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 Is that before or after keeping it in the oven?
No, that's before. That's
Okay,
before.
yeah.
So you want to give time for the butter to percolate through it.
Yeah.
And there's like seasoning in the butter. It's not just butter, but it was maybe 4 sticks of butter.
So for all the Europeans that have no idea how big a stick is, like how much butter is that about?
It's a stick. It's a stick's worth.
Okay.
I don't know, 8 teaspoons, 8 tablespoons.
5 twigs
Like-
worth of butter in a stick.
I'm trying to think. It's like 10 centimeters of butter.
How fat does it make you?
Incredibly, you can't move after
Okay,
eating
yeah.
my turkey.
Okay, so
But it's
plenty
fun
of butter
because
anyway.
you jab it in there and then you can just see the turkey like blow up because you're filling it up with butter.
Man,
Oh,
it's such a great holiday.
it is. And then we go and we watch the hand egg playoffs.
Yeah, I saw some like tweets about the hand eggs, and I had no clue about how that works. So, but I'm happy for your team. I'm happy for the
Thank
holiday.
That was beautiful.
Yep.
All right, so getting on to some more pertinent on-topic stuff. I guess we have some Doom Reaver salt. This is some salted ham to go with my Thanksgiving turkey.
I would not say it is as much saltiness over Doom Reavers as it is positivity for incoming pig seeds in the future, probably.
Fair enough.
Yeah, fair enough.
Fair enough. Very nice.
Yeah. So
So yeah, why don't you take
I
off
mean,
with it?
basically, there's been the cornucopias here going on for the last couple of weeks, I think, as we're recording this. And
Yes.
I think they got the last update out like yesterday or something, which will be tested for 2 days. And among these are the Doom Reavers, which when you put them side by side to Slaughterhousers, the pigs just pale in comparison. And of course, it's not fair to compare with factions, but I mean, when you look at it, it's like I think the future for pigs looks pretty bright if we're getting like the same helping from that injected turkey.
I mean, I'm all about injecting butter into any animal. So
So yeah, I'm like, I don't know if we need to go through with this, but I mean, if you have the opportunity to go to the SID forums, have a look at the Doom Reavers and try to visualize your happiness for the future of the Slaughterhousers.
well, and kind of the weird thing is I feel like the more that all of us want to dig into Sturm and Drang is the more Slaughterhousers come into vogue again, because they are Mat 9. You can do finisher with the Freed Scouts.
Yeah.
So there is kind of a lot of things there. It just, I don't know, maybe they're like one release away from gelling into something really, really good.
I mean, I think this discussion has been up on like the Facebook group and stuff. Uh, in my opinion, the major problem now with slaughterhouses is that they're speed 5, they don't have advanced deploy, they threat 10 inches, and they don't like have a really good theme to be in. So I think they need to have a lot of.
Well, and that's kind of an interesting, like, if just the theme changed, would that be enough for slaughterhousers?
I mean, if we went back to like the old Thornfall, like all the units get AD, at least they would have some scenario presence. Might
Well,
be like worth considering.
but I mean, they also have such a low defense and a low armor. I
Yeah,
mean, they're kind of like victim stat Knight Exemplars.
yeah.
And I know there was like a period where like everyone was freaking out overnight. I had never freaked out over Knight Exemplars.
Yeah, I mean, I remember early Mark 3, before Theme Forces, and I tried playing 3 units with Rask, which was like, he should be good with Fury, he can protect them, blah blah blah. And like, I usually got like 2 or 3 of them delivered, and they did some work, but I got 2 or 3 out of my 18 slaughterhousers, despite Rask's feat in the old Steamroller.
Interesting, because that actually now that you talk about it, I'm like, ooh, that's kind of exciting. It's a pity themes exist.
Yeah.
But if we pattern off of Doom Reavers, then hopefully Slaughterhousers will have nowhere to go but up, really.
Yeah. And I mean, the later the CID comes, the better they will be, probably.
Someone's been playing GW games too much.
Yeah.
But along those lines, we're going to the holiday season. This is a very happy time, so it must be time for our sad dojo.
Yes.
But so you have something that looks terribly interesting.
So I think this is sort of a continuation of our last episode where we gushed over Meyer, and back then I did like the little chicken way out of like just adjusting my Rask list to sort of play with the new toys. But I think that everybody wants Sturm and Drang to like work because they're really cool. They have an interesting toolkit, but they like don't really. I mean, they're not Rask, but that doesn't mean we can't like take them and try to do some cool stuff and just see what happens with at least my favorite pig duo.
See, this is like a Christmas miracle to me. This is like the most open-minded you've ever been.
Sure, I mean, miracles do happen.
And my other favorite thing is I'm looking at your conflict chamber list.
Yeah.
And it's Sturm 1 and Drang 1. So I'm kind of hoping when they go epic, like it's just Sturm. So it's like Sturm 2 and Drang 1.
Yeah, that would actually be pretty awesome. So they would go like.
So they get a new iteration like individually.
Yeah.
I don't know. That just kind of left out of me. It's just a silly thought.
Yeah, it could be pretty cool. So anyway, there's been of course some different builds figuring here and there. After like trying some different stuff, I did like a Zoo build similar to Rask, but I kind of wanted it to be a little bit different, just so it wouldn't be like a Rask list, but just a little bit different. I wanted them to do like some different angles. So I did like the Lesser Warlock Zoo. I put the snake in and the pig because like if you're playing the Zoo, you're gonna take the snake and the pig because they're pretty good, and they also get like enabled from assassination. And wrong A because Snapjaw with the polarity shield on him is pretty sweet. We talked about that in previous casts. Like having a submerged Snapjaw that cannot be charged and cannot be targeted by ranged dramatic is like it's pretty sweet.
Yeah, like I've had that annoy the hell out of a lot of people. The one thing I will say is that when you go and you try to put that on the table, he doesn't deliver the rest of your army for you. He's just going to be protecting himself.
Yeah, I mean he's gonna be like a big front piece. He's still a potent assassination threat is my reasoning, because the opposing warlock has to respect him.
I mean that makes a lot of sense, and One thing is you could try to slip in Primal.
Yeah, okay, so
I'm not
that's
sure what
I
you
mean
would give up though.
I'm coming to that later. But
Okay,
the
sorry.
battle group is just two Roadhogs because I still want to have, because it's a solo list that doesn't rely as much on aggression as Rask does, but it's more like on a control caster. I want to be able to have the hit and run and also like be able to just toe the edge of 10 inches and spray stuff. And then I did Meyer with the Black-Eyed Wrestler because we want to try the new toys. And of course, Rage in Pigs is tempting. The drawback with this list is that I don't have a Battle Boar, as you pointed out. And I'm not sure if I like that. You could motivate it by saying that, okay, I have TK, I can turn stuff around to make up for the mat loss. But if I'm going for an assassination stylist, or at least have the assassination vector, like I really
Well,
want to have I want to access to primal.
the other thing is that you do have Dahlia and Scarith, and you have Paralysis.
Yeah.
You have her bond, so you have something that's hyper accurate and it threats incredibly far with TK.
Yes.
And Lanissa, technically.
Yeah.
You do have crit knockdown with Brine. You have Quake with Hut Chuck. So I mean, there's options. You have Pack Hunters with Drang.
There's options.
And then you can still TK with the Soul Slave. So you can Pack Hunter to get a Roadhog at least up to Mat 8 and TK the Soul Slave.
But then you're sort of... Okay, I mean, you can assassinate with Roadhogs, but it's not like the happiest of things.
You mean it's the sexiest of things?
Yes, that was actually what I intended to say.
Yeah, okay. I was pretty sure there's a language barrier there.
But anyway, like, I mean, it's pretty easy to get a Battle Boar in there. You just switch out a Roadhog for a Gun Boar, probably, and a Battle Boar, or just like 2 Battle Boars and something else for 2 points. In that list,
2 Battle Boars is so much better.
Yeah, probably. But I mean, I like the sprays. But I mean, that's I mean, this is just dojo, so still untested still. And of course, I have a Bone Shrine, which I actually buy for points. I put Ailish because Puppet Master is really good, and Hutchuk for extra armor cracking and ambushing for against flags and a little nuisance. So I mean, when I look at this list, I think I like it pretty much. It's got 3 boostable sprays. I have the assassination threats. I have some hit and run shenanigans, and I feel I should be able to win trades against heavies through control, like vision and sprinting and TKing clouds. I can probably alpha medium infantry as well as control them with TK, and I should be able to deal with single infantry through spraying. So I mean, yeah, I think this is probably not like a super fantastic competitive list, but I think it's fun. I think it does stuff different from Rask, even though the build is pretty similar, and should be pretty fun.
And it's interesting to me because it matches the way I was playing Sturm and Drang at the very beginning of the edition, where I had always wanted to focus on Rorsch and Brine and Dahlia and Scarith for the threat vectors, and then I had Wrong Eye and Snapjaw in there for the polarity field. The big change now is that you have Meyer and the Wrestler.
Yes.
Which is, I think, something is very much missing back when I was trying to do this style of list.
Yeah, and I mean, you have the Pathfinder stick. I don't think that I have like really good options for the Wield Secrets because no. Like
well,
no
I think
really
any of the
good
beasts are a good option for it.
I mean, for Pathfinder, sure. I mean, Rorsch can also use his guns, for example. So yeah, definitely possible. Absolutely. There's also like a pretty surprising synergy in the list. In case that Underchief Meyer would croak, you actually have Wrong Eye there to pick up the Wrestler and keep him ticking.
It's always nice to have options.
Yeah.
The one thing I'm sad to see is no Valkyries.
Sure.
I mean, deflection, deceleration, whichever one it is. Deflection, I think.
I mean,
with Shield Guard and Vengeance.
Yeah.
Like, and it's a unit, and they're nice and compact.
Yeah, I mean, I'm flexible if you can fit it in somehow. I don't.
I'd probably have to assassinate one of your lessers.
Yeah, which would be Wrong Eye probably.
Unfortunately.
Because Snake and Pig.
Yeah, Snake and Pig.
Yeah.
Then you get to just polarity field up on Pig.
Which is not bad.
No. The
And
other thing is, have you looked at a witch dock for Ghostly?
of course, I mean,
Because even though you have wheeled secrets, Ghostly, you have the building in the middle,
yeah,
particularly with Ninja Pig and his threat ranges, it's kind of almost.
yeah. But I mean, that's the WW, well, or rather, will work for full world that we live in. It's like there's always like some really great solos that we will miss, like whichever way we go. Like Orin would also be super nice because we are super missing magic attacks in this list. Like a mist speaker would be cool as well. But
I like it.
um, I also had like some really random dojo because when I like the first time I played Sturm and Drang in Mark III, I did it after the Meat Thresher got buffed, and I actually liked playing them with double Meat Thresher, so I had to like get something together, reasoning that like if I do Unshift Mire, Wheel Seeker is pretty good for the Threshers because then they ignore concealment and cover, which is nice with the low rat. So I had to put like one of those lists together. I don't like it. It looks fantastically weird. But anyway,
I'm so proud of you right now.
it's like Sturm and Drang with double Meat Thresher. um,
No, it's one meat thresher for each pig.
Yeah, I know. For each head. The battle group is just like a battle boar, two gunmores, a splatter boar. I put an Ironback Spitter on the Shift Mire because I'm not going with like any significant heavies anyway. So I might as well just not have a Wrestler and try to focus on the ranged game instead. The splatter boar is also like, I mean, it works for the spitter because it goes to Rat 7, so it's pretty cool with the possibility of Hunter. And just Roshan Brine because I want to be able to just sacrifice a big pig for some like threat, and then I just have like a Pharaoh Grinders and Soul Slave, Ailish again because I want to be able to Puppet Master like the most worky Thresher this round. But like when I start to think
I'm
about it,
so proud of you.
I feel mostly self-loathing actually, but yeah, it's fine.
No, you've seen the John Claude Van Damme commercial with the Volvo, where you've got the two semi trucks going and he's doing the splits
Yes.
between them.
Yeah.
This is that list. You should feel like Van Damme whenever you put this on the table. Get pumped.
Yeah.
He's Belgian.
Super stoked. Anyway, but so when I start to actually think about it, it's like, okay, so I usually want to have vision on one Thresher and the polarity shield on the other one. So like, how do I actually work Wheel Secrets into this? And
I'm kind of surprised that you're not putting vision on Meyer.
I guess, I mean, that's an attractive place to put it. I feel that he can probably protect himself with the clouds, and
Ironically, with the meat threshers, they'll automatically give him stealth.
yeah, if he's that far up. I mean, he can also stand in like the Splatterboard Fart Cloud, maybe, if it's guided correctly. Like there's a lot of stuff I don't like in this list when I think about it, but it's
Van Damme.
yeah. But
This
anyway,
is the list. This is going to be the sleeper hit that Roundhouse kicks its way to the top.
I mean, it's like the probably game plan I would have with this, because I don't think it does assassination super well, even though it is possible, is probably to just hold scenario, try to get ahead in scenario points, and maybe like stall for turn 7 and win on tiebreaker. Maybe.
That is the most depressing plan I've ever heard.
I know, it's it's the most depressing plan for the worst list.
Woo! We've hit a new high here.
Yeah, the worst song played on the ugliest guitar.
Hey,
So
I was
anyway,
trying
I
to
mean,
pump you
yeah.
up.
I mean, I had a lot of fun actually dojing this. Like, it was an emotional roller coaster. I will proxy it out, like the European buy method of doing meat threshers, and see where we end up.
What, you didn't go out and buy 2 of them?
No,
Dude, come on.
they were not on like any Black Friday sale next to me.
That would have been amazing if there's like buy one get one free.
Yeah,
It's like a pair of roller skates.
50% off, buy one get one free. I would get 2 of them.
I mean, if it's buy one get one free, I'd get 2 of them too.
Yeah, but it has to be 50% off as well.
They're already 16 points. That's basically 50% off the points value. And I think they're like one of the cheapest battle engines you can get too. I think they're only like $55 US. It's been a while. Like I got my one when it first came out because I'm a sucker like that. And no,
Yeah.
I know. I'm excited.
Anyway, I mean that's my two Sturm and Drang dojo lists with our new toy Meyer. So let's see what you have cooked up, except for butter turkey.
Oh, that's gone. That's long gone.
Yeah.
So I decided to actually break him down by scenario instead. So I listed out what I thought were the live and the dead scenarios for him of the 6, basically the ones that I feel like that they have elements that are on my side that are easy to score, and then zones that are very minimal on my opponent's side, so it's easy for me to leverage all of the control elements of the model and push them out.
Mm-hmm.
So going through the scenarios, I said the pit was basically dead. Standoff was live, but with a whole lot of asterisks after it because it's not so easy. Spread the net, very live. Invasion dead to me. Mirage live. Recon dead.
Mm-hmm.
So that means in a given 2-list format, I'm already down to only dropping him basically into half of the scenarios. But these are ones that I want to have a very clear plan on going in on how I want to win them on scenarios specifically.
So you're sort of like gearing your Sturm and Drang list specifically for scenario play.
Yes.
Yes.
So lots of pushes, lots of TKs, lots of not wanting to play into Armored Core. So looking into standoff. So going second, so this is looking at turn 2B. I need to contest all the zones, blow up my opponent's objective, score my zone and one other zone, which is 3-0. Then my opponent comes back, they can score their own zone, contest mine, 3-1. And then in order to go forward from there, I have to clear 3 zones. That's why I had asterisked this one as not so easy to win on. But again, you're still looking to win by the end of turn 3, essentially. It's just you have to have a lot of zone clearing, and then it's going to depend a lot upon the matchup as well. If your opponent's running a lot of things that are difficult to remove, like very high defense Tharn, or Armored Core, or Madrak, or any of the other 8,000 things that are out there, it gets... This is the one that I was kind of iffy on. So spread the net, I think, is quite a bit easier because you contest all the zones, you score the middle, your own and a flag. That's 3-0. Your opponent contests them all. They're probably going to be able to score their flag in the back zone, so 3-2. Then you just repeat basically your first turn, which is contest all the zones, score in the middle, your own, and then... So that puts you up 6-2. So then you're up by 4 at that point. Hopefully it's relatively easy to keep going. Then the final one was Mirage. That one, you contest the zone in the flag, you can score the center and the back flag, your own zone, blow up an objective, 4-0. Opponent can, easily get to 4-2 and then do it all again. You get to 7-2 and then you win that way. By far, that one's the easiest one because it has the most scoring elements. That's been a common theme for Mirage, I think, for every single faction throughout the game. So I tried to, take these plans, condense them down into a list of what items in minions are going to be the ones that I want in the list in order to get to that objective, to that scenario play. So I was looking at splatterboards because they have the POW 14 arcing fire for killing objectives. It's with arcing fire you can't really block line of sight. They can ignore clouds because they have the gas masks on. So it's very hard for your opponent to protect their objective. Brun and Lug because they have push with bare hands. Meat Thresher, it also has pushing with bulldoze, and then it clears infantry like a champ. Husks, they can ambush in to contest. Contesting is very important. They can also cloud wall. They can create an anti-infantry bubble where single wound infantry can't get through in order to contest. Or you can offensively blow them up to clear out a zone. Gremlin Swarms and Feral Geist are very similar in corporeal, so you can run them through models in order to contest. You can also leave them on a back flag in order to make it difficult to remove them, so that you're scoring. Valkyries are by far and large, obviously this is heading towards will work for food. They're a unit, they're very durable, they're something you can park in a zone and score with. And then I just always optimistically include Blythe and Bull, because, that's the kind of guy I am.
The little Christmas miracle.
I know, right? Yeah. It's like you running double Meat Threshers.
Yeah.
It can happen, kids. So, and then I was just kind of mathing out, to kill an objective, that's armor 18, 15 boxes. So I was looking at can you get away with Efreet Scouts and just one splatter bore? And I think the answer is, are you a risk taker, basically? Because on the POW 7 armor piercing, you're looking at an average of 5 damage a shot. It's 10 damage. The boosted POW 14 should be 6 damage, so that's 16. It's, you're living on the edge there, but you get them for free, and I like free. Free is very, very attractive. So I tried to assemble all those various elements into the weirdest looking lists ever seen. Originally, I was not going with a Dracodile because I felt like even though he takes up a large footprint, he has problems possibly efficiently clearing things out, and he's possibly too easy to jam up. So ended up with Sturm and Drang with Will Work for Food, a free Soul Slave, just the one Splatter Bore, 3 Warhogs, Brun and Lug, Meyer with a Wrestler, 2 free Scouts, the Valkyries, and 2 Gremlin Swarms. The idea there is, again, you can get the Splatterboard and the Scouts to pick on an objective. The Warhogs all have Bulldoze as their Animus. With Meyer and the Wrestler, you're looking at what? It's a base POW 16, 19, 21. So they can kill some stuff too. Brun and Lug, similar things. They can charge in, they can push stuff away with bare hands. And then you have the Gremlin Swarms to grab some stuff and the Valkyries to grab some stuff. So that's kind of where my dojo brain was kind of taking me. I think that still needs quite a bit of massaging. And so I started doing some research, and this is where I'm happy angry. It's kind of like, you get that Black Friday deal. They're like, okay, don't go to the website again. Don't look at how much lower it could have been.
Yeah.
So I ended up going onto Hordes and reading through Azahul's stuff because, doing some opposition research on Sturm and Drang. And I actually really, really like his Dracodile list a lot. And so I'm super upset because I'm just probably going to have to steal it and call it my own after one game. So that one ended up being Sturm and Drang with a Warhog, 2 Battle Boars, a Soul Slave, Brun and Lug, Dahlia and Scarith, Meyer with a Dracodile, Eilish, Orin, a Misspeaker, and a Chef. So there's a couple things. Obviously, I need to have a unit in here in order to make my ideas work. So something's getting chopped out. But on the whole, it's got Dahlia in there. I love Dahlia because of the speed, because of the TK. It's got the bear in there for the pushing. We love the bear too. And then you have this big old Dracodile with Polarity Field. And it looks like from reading through some of his battle reports, it's actually been really, really successful for him. So I'm super hyper jealous that I didn't think of it.
So have you considered Targ instead of the Soul Slave? Because
yes,
double blind sprays feels like
that is something I am pushing, especially when you have Eilish in the list.
Yeah.
And then it's also harder to jam up the Dracodile because you can ancillary attack, have it bite whatever's jamming it up, and then maybe that frees it up to move forward. So I am also 100% on board with Team Targ until, my Dracodile fails me.
Yeah.
The other thing is that when you're going for killing the objective, you now have a Assault, POW 15, boostable spray, can't be locked down in combat, you can't shield guard it anymore. So, that's dice off 3, that's about 7 there. You can do it again with Targ. That's, going to be somewhere in the ballpark of 4, and so then you have Dahlia and Scarith to bring it up and kind of kill it. So you still have that destroying the objective element there. I'm still looking for things like the Gremlin Swarms in order to go contest, in order to grab your own flag, things of that nature, to kind of tweak that into the list. But the downside is I found that literally 5 minutes before we started doing the cast. So I had plenty of time to copy and paste it in here and then just drool.
Yeah. I haven't really done any work on a Dracodile list, but I think I would probably value Targ better than the Soul Slave.
That's definitely the direction I was going. I think the thing with the Dracodile list is you're giving up the Wrestler. And so when I had done it pre-Meyer, I had Wrong Eye and Snapdrawn and Dracodile there, and I had tried it both with Warhogs and with Roadhogs. And I found that I definitely wanted the Warhogs over the Roadhogs for the hitting power. It was just without the assistance, the Roadhogs were having problems. So then that's where with your list, super super okay with it because you actually have Meyer with the Wrestler in order to, apply rage and buff up the Roadhogs to something reasonable. When you have Helga, you have, a +5 swing on a Roadhog. It makes them very reasonable.
Yeah.
So I feel like you lose out on that with the Dracodile, and you're also losing out on rage when you take Meyer and the Dracodile together. So suddenly Dali and Scarif becomes less attractive. Suddenly Rosh and Brian becomes less attractive because you're stuck on +2, not +3. And the difference, that's the difference between POW 18 and POW 19.
I think Rosh and Brian is like, Brian at least is pretty self-contained against Living because he's got his own animus, which is basically a rage, except he has to pay for it himself, which is not good, but it's something. So you still have some punch there. And if you bring a Dracodile, like priming that guy sucks incredibly. Like you would need to win the game straight out if you do that.
And that's kind of what I was running into with the Roadhogs is they didn't have enough juice to support the Dracodile. They couldn't go be their own. And that's where I like having the Warhog with him to back him up. And I get concerned about things like Brun and Lug and Dali and Scarith because now you are relying on POW 18 in order to crack armor. And I feel like the way the game has evolved, the way the meta has evolved, is POW 18 just ain't going to cut it.
Yeah, feels like that, probably.
So that's why when I was doing my dojo, I had moved away from the Dracodile because I wanted Meyer with the cheaper Wrestler, so that way I could better support my Warhogs, my Brun and Lug pushes, my Dali and Scarith.
Yeah. On the other hand, you could also make the point for like blind sprays into like medium infantry, which should.
Oh, I think it would be delicious. But the flip side of that is like if we're using Madrak as an example, that's a Rad 5 spray versus defense 14, I believe. That's you need 9s.
But you have TK.
Yeah, you can TK 1.
You get up there with Sturm and you TK 3 minimum.
No, because he's got to upkeep shit. Fine. Dude's got vision, he's got polarity field. Are you going to want to cast Deceleration or not? And then you have TK.
We don't have a Soul Slave, but we have a Bone Shrine. Let's get a Bone Shrine there.
You get a Bone Shrine.
Okay,
and you need the Bone Shrine and the Soul Slave, so then you're losing out on Targ.
Yeah, but so we got still with TK2. They can't, have that like perfect positioning. We blind 4. They take a lot of damage. I think it's gonna be fine. Think positive. Christmas miracles.
The one that I think would actually be kind of cute against is McKay, because they rely on those stupid railless interceptors so much.
Yeah, like blinding battle engines that broke the range is really good.
And that's what happened when I was playtesting, is it went in and it blinded the Celestial Fulcrum.
Yeah.
But then it never made it past the Celestial Fulcrum. And I had actually managed to range it, so it blinded the Fulcrum, and then it blinded a Wold Guardian and 2 Hammer Hands. Something, I don't know, all the rock dudes blend together after a while. And then I feeded on top of them. So they were Fury 1, and then they were all blinded. I ran out of steam after that. That was what my list did.
Yeah.
And he was super aggravated with me for a whole turn.
That's still pretty good for Sturm and Drang.
Just being super aggravating?
Yeah. I guess.
Yeah. I wasn't able to leverage it to anything useful. I was just able to be annoying.
And I think you put like the core of Sturm and Drang right there. It's like they have a control kit, but it rarely amounts to like anything.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's challenging. It's because you feel like you're almost there. It's like they're so close, and then it just every single time. And that's where I was, reading through Azahul's battle reports, and I was getting pretty excited because now the Dracodile is not attached to a 17-point module; it's attached to a 4-point module. And that's, I think, a big deal and a big difference because it was very much warping the way the rest of the list worked.
Yeah, so it might be like an idea to just try to maybe, instead of going the scenario route, to go like more pressing on assassination and maybe trying to create more assassination angles and play more aggressively. Because
and that's where you can play with Eilish and the blind spray.
Yeah.
But then you need to have some follow up.
And you could also use the feat turn to like set up like a good board state to enable assassination next turn, maybe.
Well, and I mean, one of the things I guess you could also use the feat to do is limit retaliation to the Dracodile.
Mm.
Because if you start throwing up, the Animus and the Blind and the feat, they start running out of abilities to get to there to buy all the attacks to be effective.
Yeah. And I mean, in that case, you would not actually miss the Wrestler if you're going for assassinations, because then you would do Primal instead. Because +2/+2 is arguably better than +0/+3.
Yeah, I think it's just got to be the follow up is tricky.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be like the Helga assassination puzzle. Like, okay, I'm gonna set this up. Next turn, I'm gonna go into the tank. This is like the launch list. This is a win or lose situation right now. I either do this, pull this off, or I do not. So hopefully they won't have like any counter tech.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess the other thing is you can use a scenario to kind of force the assassination.
Yeah.
So, I mean, anytime that you have models running rather than trying to actually attack you, because they got to run to contest, that's always useful. I don't know. It feels like there's so many opportunities for this guy.
Yeah. I mean, we all want Sturm and Drang to work. I'm sure, because they are a super cool concept.
Really? I'm pretty sure you don't want them to work.
No, I mean, I love them.
I'm pretty sure you're holding out for Sturm 2 and Drang 1.
I like the beat sticks. I'm gonna go do it with Drang 2 first.
That was one of the things I missed so much is the very end of Mark 2, they had acidic touches and Animus.
Yes.
And that made Drang a POW 17,
I think, yeah.
And he had 9 attacks.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Big.
I was like, and then he could cast sprint.
Oh, yeah. Sprint.
So he could go in, kill something, sprint back.
Yeah.
And I was like, ooh. But of course, acidic touches no more. Piggy. So, but I mean, I think it's nice that we're at least talking about 2 out of the 3 win conditions with him, where we're talking about scenario, we're talking about assassination, even though we kind of say he's not going to attrition as well as Rask, Arcadius, or any of the other casters. He's slowly building his way towards games, slowly building his way towards a bright and optimistic future.
Yeah.
And then there's Drang.
You would really have to like get maximum out of his control, and if you want to go like the late game route, I think pushing harder for scenario blitz or assassinations is probably the path of least resistance.
Well, I mean, he's also got crit smite or crit throw, whatever it's called. So he can remove models from zones himself.
Yeah.
So then it's, are you relying on the Meat Thresher to remove the models? Are you relying on Bulldoze to remove the models? One of the things that's kind of sad is that, Ostrom can actually run the models, and Bulldoze or Warhogs can have to cast it, so they can't run.
Yeah. Actually, I've actually forgot that he has like a little spray of his own, Sturm. It's got like a little range 8 spray. So,
yes, it's very handy for picking out solos.
I mean, if you go with the double Roadhog route, you can still have like double Roadhog spray, you can have Dahlia spray, and like his own spray and Dracodile spray, theoretically in the list, which is not bad. Like, sprays are really good.
Yeah, no, I mean, especially a blind spray, because if you go with Eilish on the Dracodile, that's 15 on average. That's probably getting up there on most casters. I mean, I know there's definitely some 16s and 17s, but not that many.
Yeah,
and you ignore a lot of the abilities.
I mean, we have both the Roadhogs have Assault, right? Still.
They do, yeah. So they have a 20-inch or a 22 if you TK them.
And the Dracodile has also Assault. Like, the Snake has kinda Assault. It has Gunfighter and a spray, so it can't assault directly, but it can charge something and do the Gunfighter attack.
Yeah, it's got an 18-inch threat base.
19? Because speed 6.
Oh, I'm sorry. Jesus Christ, I'm bad at math. You're right, 19.
Be quiet.
This is why I should not podcast after work. Oh my god. My brain.
Anyway, 5 sprays plus Targ. Pretty good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Especially blind.
Yeah.
With 3 rolls.
I mean, you get corrosion and you get fire as well.
That's true.
Yeah. So, like, I mean, that's pretty good work. Maybe Spray Meta 2019.
Spraysgiving 2019.
Wow.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'd say that's a cast. Thank you everyone for listening, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks for listening. Bye-bye.